My deck is a calling. It is the sole hope for the metagame because it has driven me to popping you. Rank 4! 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 Good afternoon, Jank enthusiasts. I'm MBT, and this is 10-Minute Testing. Before we were so rudely interrupted by Genesis, we were talking about the ban list. While the biggest takeaway from last month's list was that Konami inexplicably hates Vanquish Soul Canine, the second most interesting thing to happen were the unhits. From Cyberjar to Snake Eyes, a lot came off that just isn't going to matter. Today we'll be talking about one such card, Zoodiac Trident.
You're some random guy from the city. No one in the zoo community has ever heard of you.
So here's the list. As always, I'll give you a background about the archetype, a little bit of a discussion about what I hope the deck can do, and of course, the card by card. But first, this video is sponsored by Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro Deck. Despite what some Yugi-tubers who shall not be named would have you believe, the TCG is alive and well. And if you're looking to start your journey into paper, there's no better place to begin than Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro Deck. With up-to-the-minute reporting on every major tournament worldwide, searchable and interactable pie charts and deck lists, and all the bells and whistles you've come to expect from one of the best draft and collection management sites on the net, Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro Deck is the place to be. Check it out today at www.ygoprodeck.com. Now back to the video. With that, let's Zoodiac. Zoodiac is a series of cards so powerful, so flexible, that until tier limits, they were squarely situated at the top of the heap when it came to greatest decks of all time. Each of their Xyz monsters can be summoned over a single material, giving them incredible swarming, extension, and board building capabilities. They persisted through a half-dozen ban lists, firstly cutting down their free specials from Ratpier, then neutering unintended setups a la Elder Entity Norden, and finally taking Dommy Mommy Trident behind the shed. But rumors of Trident's demise seem to have been greatly exaggerated. She's finally free from the Forbidden List and ready to tear up Tier 1 again. Right? Well, a lot's changed in the past 7 years. Yes, Xyz are still powerful. Yes, a targeted pop still counts as an end board if you squint, but it's hard not to look at Ryziel Detonator and see a Trident that can just keep on firing. Is it even worth tinkering with these cards when there's another rank 4 that does your job better? I say yes. Instead of thinking about Detonator or Trident, why don't we imagine them as a team, one with free will and one that's repeatable? There's a lot of reason to smash these decks together. The Zoos are adept at making duo drive. Each half can get to the other by way of Chakanine or Banshee, and you're already playing 4 spam. Why not follow it to its logical conclusion? So with that, let's get into the card by card. First, our Zoodiacs. We've got 2 copies of Ram, 1 copy of Ratpier, and 1 copy of Thoroughblade. Don't worry, there's a lot more where those came from. After that, we're playing a powerful, generic rank 4 tool in Surfacing Big Jaws. This had a lot of popularity in Ryziel builds, but one frustrating part is you really can't use it until you've activated a spell card this turn. There's a single card that bridges 2 of these together, both the ability to access the Zoodiacs and to summon Big Jaws in Zoodiac Barrage. Awesome. Drake Shark is unfortunately not like us, but is a Poplar. And we've got a couple of Ice Ryziels, a couple of Swords, a Node, and an X Ryziel. We're playing not only the Barrages, but 3 Tankies, 3 Tachyon, and 1 copy of 7th Ascension, just because of the way the numbers worked out. We've got a Bonfire and the Ryziel Cross in here as well, but I didn't feel good enough to play a card like Star. And in terms of non-engine, we're playing Fulos, Ash Blossom, Joyspring, Ghost Spell, and Haunted Mansion, triple Tactics, Talents, Called by the Grave, and triple Infinite Impermanence in the extra. We've got Trident, Borbo, and Chakanine. Recall that Chakanine is a generic rank 4. We've got number 60, Dugaris the Timeless. Routinely, you will just end on 1 additional guy, and this guy is the most flexible. Banshee in order to get you to Pyros. Evil Swarm, Exciton Knight, not to make Fiendsmith, just to actually use his effect. 101 is a target for 7th Tachyon, but it's also just independent. A fine card. Bagooska. Keep forgetting that Bagooska is legal. Konami, you can do something about this. An Eclipse Quins, double Ryziel Duo Drive, a Detonator, Masquerade, Aggregator, and Zeus. On the side, we've got triple Retaliating Sea, triple Droll and Lockbird, a Castel for our Harpy's Featherstorm package, 3 triple Tactics Thrust, 2 Lightning Storm, Harpy's Feather Duster, and a Dimensional Barrier. So with that, let's jump into the games. Our first match is up against Yummy, and this is a pretty fantastic hand. We are going first. We're going to begin with a copy of Zoodiac Rat Pier. That's going to be out with the Foolos, but thankfully we do have the Ash Blossom for that. We're going to use the Rat Pier in order to send from deck to graveyard a copy of Ram Ram as we go into Chakanine. Chakanine effect will special summon back this copy of Ram Ram, and then afterwards we can overlay for a Borbo and a Trident. We'll activate the effect of the Trident in order to pop our own Ram Ram and be hit with a Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. It will still resolve, so we can pop the Ram Ram, then activate its effect to bring back this copy of Zoodiac Rat Pier. We will go for Bonfire, which nets our opponent a good Dominus Purge, but we have activated the spell, so it's surfacing Big Jaws time. We're going to go ahead and get Drake Shark and then summon it to our side of the field. Afterwards, we can overlay for a copy of Duo Drive and activate its effect in order to grab a couple of cards. Here, the Ext and the Ryziel Cross. We'll set the Cross and then summon out the Ext, sending an Eclipse Twins, allowing us to summon back our Trident with a Chakanine underneath it. From this position, we will grab a Sword, special the Sword, activate its effect in order to grab an Ice, and then we'll start overlaying for a Ryziel Detonator, activating its effect to reattach this copy of Eclipse Twins, sending our Duo Drive for the Ice, and then drawing 2 and discarding 1. I don't actually think the Zoodiac Barrage is going to be able to help us extend, but we will take the Ghost Bell and Haunted Mansion. Our opponent draws for turn. They're going to begin with a copy of Engage. That's fine. They'll grab a copy of Hornet Drones. They'll summon a token to their side of the field, then afterwards they'll link off for a Link Haribo into Cupsy Yummy. They'll trigger the effect of the Cupsy Yummy. We will pop it. They're going to go ahead and grab from deck to hand a copy of Cookie and then summon that out. From here, they can make a copy of Cupsy Yummy Way. We can detonator targeting our own Trident by detaching Twins, which means at a point of resolution, Twins will be able to get us back the Trident. Here, because the Trident doesn't have to respond to something, we can use it to target the Cupsy Yummy Way. They'll activate the effect and we can respond with a Ghost Bell and Haunted Mansion. Now, they can still get out this Lollipo and go into a Snatchy, but that's all they can do, and they'll scoop afterwards. So that's what happens when this deck's specific brand of targeted pops matter. But what happens when they don't? Our opponent for game 2 is playing Man. I know what you all want me to call this. In my mind, it's just Odeon. We have a fantastic grip and even interaction on the first turn, but let's see how much it matters. Our opponent's going to begin with a copy of Treasures of the Kings for Apophis the Serpent, then they're going to set a card and use Treasures in order to get the Man with the Mark. They'll activate the effect of the Man with the Mark and add from deck to hand a copy of Temple of the Kings, which they will set, enabling them to flip up this Apophis the Serpent on their very first turn. They're going to set the Swamp Deity, then activate it as well. That's 2 on their side of the field for a Divine Serpent Apophis, which allows them to reset the 2 aforementioned traps. From here, they can just pass turn. We'll draw for turn, and another sword isn't great. We'll lead Barrage. We're going to activate the effect of the Barrage so we don't have to commit to our normal and get a copy of Ram Ram from deck. We'll go into a Borbo and then go to the battle phase attempting a Zeus play. They're going to go for Apophis in order to set a copy of the Swamp Deity, which triggers the effect of the Divine Serpent, popping our monster. Okay, we'll go to main phase 2 and normal summon a nice Ryziel for an Ext. From here, we can trigger the effect of the Ext in order to grab a copy of Node and then overlay for an Excitonite. We'll go Exciton, which fiends out one of these Swamp Deities. Kind of frustrating, but what did you expect? From here, we can go 7th Tachyon, revealing 101, so we can grab a Big Jaws, but down comes the Dominus Purge. We still have extension. We will go Node Ryziel, send this copy of the Excitonite to the graveyard, fiending out the other Apophis, the Swamp Deity, allowing us to special summon the sword, use the sword to get a copy of Ice, and fall victim to a super polymerization. Oh my goodness. Just could not stick a guy. Story of my life, to be honest. Well, it's time for game 3, and you know what that means, a best of 3 versus meta. Our opponent is playing what else but Draco Tail? I don't know, I like to shake things up. It's a new format! Let me have some fun before we get yummied into the sun. We're going first, and we're going to begin with a copy of Bonfire. That's going to grab us an Ext. We will activate Tanky afterwards in order to grab a Thoroughblade, then surfacing Big Jaws because, of course, we have gone ahead and activated a spell. We'll go Drake Shark, activate the effect of the Drake Shark in hand, and from here we can overlay for a Duo Drive. We'll fire off the Duo Drive in order to grab a couple of cards, then special out the Ext Ryziel, sending Twins. We'll grab a Sword here, then special the Sword, use the Sword effect in order to grab a copy of Ice, and then activate Ryziel Cross. From here we can overlay for a Detonator, activate the effect of the Detonator, and it's on to protect the remainder of our combo. Thoroughblade is going to allow us to draw a card in Ash Blossom here, but of course we have already gone through so much of our linear play, it's not too outside of the realm of possibility that we're just going to find non-engine. Let's go for the Trident, pop our copy of Ram Ram, and then trigger the effect of the Ram Ram in graveyard to bring back the Thoroughblade, and then afterwards we can go for our Ice Ryziel from hand, going to Garrus, activating its effect to draw 2, then discard 1. We probably won't need the Foolos. We'll pass back to our opponent, who for turn will draw another copy of Dark End Evaporation. They'll lead with that, sending this copy of Philia Regius. We will pop that Dark End Evaporation. This is a really valuable pop into a Lukias here. They're going to go ahead and get 5 mana. They'll activate the effect of the 5 mana. That's probably worth the cross from us, and they'll scoop them up. So it's time for game 2, and our opponent is, of course, going first. It appears they've opened 3 hand craps and 2 1-card Sharders into our hand of Triple Tack and Ash. This will be an interesting one for sure. Our opponent's going to begin with a copy of Labubu. They'll activate the effect in order to send 2 to the yard for an Arthalion. They'll trigger the effect of the Lugias and the Labubu in sequence in order to set both a Rahu and a Ketu, and then afterwards they're just going to go ahead and grab back the Labubu. From here, they're going to fire off the Ketu. That gets them a 5 mana, and they'll fire off the Rahu, which is probably worth the Ash. From here, they're going to pass, but this is a great position to be in. 5 mana and a couple of hand traps. We'll draw for turn another 7th 7th Tachyon. Well, we might as well fire off one in order to shuffle back the other and grab ourselves an X. At resolution, our opponent's going to draw. We're going to triple tack to look at their hand, but this is a really cool play. They go 5 on Ascend everything because Arthalion is 1+. Then at resolution, they can use Arthalion to just get everything back. It's really cute. They'll use the little boo-boo to set a copy of Ketu Dracotail, and we're going to go Zoodiac Rat Pier. We do get to clear the board here by going into Chakanine, into Trident, and into Borbo for a huge Zeus. Hopefully that will contest what they have left. Of course, we know they don't have too much to begin with, so we should be fine from this position. We're playing with perfect information from here on out because, of course, they added back off Arthalion, and unfortunately, our opponent has the intended use case for Typhon, getting in for 29. Still, we have a lot of starters here, so we'll probably be able to play through it. That's an imperm. We'll begin by summoning out an X-Dryziel and triggering the effect of the Eclipse Twins in order to bring back the Trident that was part of our Zeus. We'll go Node next into Duo Drive. Duo Drive will get sniped by an Effect Veiler, which is unfortunate, but hardly the end of the world. We can use the Trident in order to pop this copy of Typhon, and then we'll go to the battle phase getting in for 25. We just have to hope they fade a draw as we set a copy of Infinite Impermanence. They draw an Ash Blossom, which is pretty miserable, so they'll scoop it up. So we're back with the deck, and I'll admit I didn't expect a forfeit from this one. Let's do the pros and cons. First, the pros. 1. The Zoo engine provides more one-card combos to get to the Raziel monsters, an extra interruption that's unique to the end board, here a quick effect pop instead of a responsive pop, and Barrage, it's a free level 4 extender in the deck that turns on your big jaws more frequently. They are actually a lot more harmonious than you would first imagine. 2. Borbo access gives the deck a way to break boards via Zeus Turbo before you get to the level 4 lock. And 3, Eclipse Twins means you can activate multiple Tridents in a single turn. Did you know this is a soft once? And the cons. 1, the Zoodiac cards make you way more vulnerable to Nibiru. They are much weaker to on-field interaction than the Raziel pieces are because instead of refilling themselves like Ext or Sword do, they just die. 2, the deck requires a ton of search power now. As a result, it is way weaker to draw than it ever was in the past. And 3, I hate to even voice this concern, but the Zoodiacs are essentially just weaker Onomats. Less search power, less interruptions, and honestly, even less extension. All in all, the only reason to play this list would be if you're hopelessly addicted to gooning to Trident. So, a pretty compelling pitch, in my estimation. So that's that. Thanks so much for watching. These 10-minute testings are made possible by, and occasionally suggested by, my patrons, some of whom have paid a lot of money to be mentioned at the end of this video. Those are Elena Tincher, Allison Elliott, Ally, APK Pearly Tier 0, Brett Henry, Cool Name, Damon O'Neill, Dark Rebel XYZ, DJ Elefante, El Gravo, El Secert, Emiliano Deverio, NB Adams, Fabrizio Petroli, Felix, Franco Romero, Garrett Rand, Hergalicious, I paid $15 for MBT to say this really long name at the end of a video, John Paradise, Night Mary, Cole Offline, Loriano Cortez, Legal Rights, Lucas Rosas, Luis Hernandez, MasterKey 090, Matthew M. Derezo, MBT Hablando en Español, MBT Play Madolce, Mike Carlotti, N54 Lionheart, Nacho Gonzalez, Pombo, Project Mercury, Pyramid, Artisan Field Cloths, TCG Accessories, Ransom My Thing, Rohan Doge, Rose Lapine, Serpentax, Shifter.mp8, Sly Ninja 43, Troy Says By Erasure is Gay, Uznik, Yuki Kazami, and Zircon Sun. Couldn't have done it without you.